Welcome, welcome, lovers. Happy Monday. I hope, again, that you have a wonderful week. Today is a special day, and I'm very excited for this one because I have my first mystery guest, my friend Victor, who contacted me after the last episode. And this is exactly what I want. I just want an honest, organic conversation with another soul. And the first time that we spoke, we were openly, talking about the way that we learn sexuality and the way that actually we manage how we understand our sexuality. And one of the things that you mentioned is that you never been married. Did you feel like you is a goal in your life some point to be married?
Feel like if it happens, well, it'll happen organically. I'm open to that as a, route that life could take me. But I'm, at the same time, busy enough with my own life to kind of be focused in the here and now.
Because I thought about it, and based on my experience, I was in the two relationships, and those relationships, they were just a confirmation that I need to be happy by my own. And this is very interesting because after the second relationship, I wouldn't even say it was a failure, because some people turns to name it as a failure or didn't work out, whatever. But after that, actually, it made me work on myself and in my own, in my own thoughts and my own way to find happiness. And then when I start, like working on, what? I'm not chasing people. I'm not looking for another relationship because, as I said many times, I don't like to be controlled, and I don't want to control anybody. So after that, actually, I start feeling that like I don't feel jealous. I don't feel envy. I don't feel anything. And when it comes to sexuality, I was just looking for something organic. And at the end of the day, that's, I think, what we are looking for. However, the problem is that there is a lot of stigmas between the connection between men and women because, again, you have to be married to enjoy your sexuality. Well, if you happen to have or found somebody that you can call it as potentially wife, so how you enjoy your sexuality?
Yeah, I think it's, I share much of your perspective on that. I think a lot of us early on in life are responding to expectations that are out there in society that, it's just the normal way to approach things that, you find somebody and you get married and start a family. But, I also understand and agree what you're saying with regard to, looking at relationships as failure. It's, quite the contrary. Like, those are learning opportunities for us to better understand what it is that we value and how, what we're looking for and what we need. And I think sexuality is a beautiful way to explore some of that, and that, it's kind of you're reinventing yourself and finding, essentially what, lights the fire inside of you. I think initially when we had our conversation, it was in reaction to a post that somebody had shared on the porn industry.
Cheers, by the way. I'm sorry. This is water, guys.
Cheers to you. Salute, my friends in the community. I think certainly I'm not so naive to recognize that there aren't, situations where people are being taken advantage of. I wish that was not the case. But, in this world that we're growing up in, all of a sudden digital media explodes and there's all these different platforms for people to produce content.
Yeah, because I'm so sorry.
I'm old enough to remember, having magazines and,
it was more challenging back in those days.
Right. As a young person, it was just an issue, an obstacle within our household to try to hoard those materials so that your parents couldn't find it. If you're living under your parents' roof, there's expectations of what they want and expect from you, and you're trying to be respectful of that. But as a young male, you've got all these things.
It's funny. It's funny that exactly. I remember a conversation that as a teenagers, even as a children, I mean, we need to have this conversation. We need to have education about how our bodies feel, how our bodies will develop, and why they feel the way it feels. And we start talking like, did you remember having a conversation with your parents about your sexuality and how it means, I mean, how it works and this and that? No, because in my personal case, I mean, I have to hide that at 12-year old, I have my period because my parents never told me that. And I start questioning things, and I start seeing things like, wait a minute, I mean, like, why do I have to hide that I have an urgency in my in my sexual piece
Your
of
body
piece of
like becoming a woman.
exactly. And it's kind of funny because I mean, I'm still, even though pornography, actually, probably a lot of people don't know, but pornography comes from the Greek word corn. Well, corn, and corn means prosti. Okay, so in Latin, Asian Greece, it means someone that he was offering something for money. Okay, and the graphy obviously belongs to the Greek word of description. So basically, it's a description of something that, and back in those days, uh, it was exchange. All right, so it doesn't really it really talks about the sexual connection, but obviously it's related to that. And I'm thinking, like, I mean, okay, but when you go to work and you get a paycheck, did you get paid with peanuts? No, right? I mean, it's just the controversial part that you're supposed to that you're paid. Well, you're not paid for sex. You're paid for time. You pay for attention. You pay to your wife to have your kids. So that's the still will be the controversial part. I mean, in my sexuality, it's part of my freedom. It's part of my decision. It's part like, oh, I woke up today and I'm hungry. What am I going to eat? It's going to be my choice. So
Sure.
it's always going to be this part of, like, oh, it's funny because actually I liked some good. I mean, I go to social media to be honest. I mostly get my news from social media, and sometimes when I make a comment regarding of the news, but then some people see my profile and they're like, "Oh, you are this, you're that," and they're like, okay, but don't you have sex? I mean, like, the reason why you can criticize me and point it at me is because I have a camera in front of me. But don't you do the same? And if you don't, you probably need it because, sexual energy that we have, like the fire that you mentioned. So still, there is a lot of taboos, there's a lot of things going on. But I believe that this upcoming generations, they are more open because they have more access. The access that we didn't have, like I I I sneaking around my uncle's desk and I saw a picture, and it was a topless, and I was like, oh. And then we were sneaking for the VHS cassettes and the movies and stuff. It was more this story, like the Ken and the Barbie, and I mean, it's nature, and
Sure.
we came from love. So if we're able to express our love and share our love, my time with you, and the lovely way, and the nice, beautiful connection. And that was actually one of the reasons when I started doing it. But I mean, it started as a fun thing, but because I was sick and tired a little bit of the common porn where, it's like, it's a very elaborated, and I wanted to be something natural, So that's why I was like, let's make porn human again, because we're humans and we love to be with another person, but obviously as long as consented, as long as understanding. But we need to understand, our bodies, how they function. People is always asking me, what's your type? Well, I guess everybody has a different types. I will say that my type is respectfully man, and one of the reasons that I loved to connect with you is because since the beginning you are so, like you are getting me, like you're understanding without being um trespassing a little bit, and this unfortunate that also one of the things that we talked was that it is really unfortunate that we don't get the information from the people that we trust, which are our parents. And most of the cases, sometimes, unfortunately, the abuse comes from some in our families, and it's sad that as a humans, we have to experiment or have to, like be part of the abuse at least one in our lives. It is so sad. I'm against all that. I'm against that a person can give you consent and enjoy what they're doing. This is the reason why I'm doing this, because I'm just trying, to open it up the mic for people like Victor, for me, that, I'm very enthusiastic and I don't mind to talk about it and be open. And that's what I want to see, to try if we can understand a little more and criticize a little less,
I'm wholeheartedly behind you. I think that immediately was what drew me to you, is your openness and vulnerability and desire to create a community that, you know, shows a more natural and organic approach to sexuality that I think there's also, everything's trying to capture your attention. I mean, fight for our focus and clicks, but there's also an opportunity there to open the conversation, because unfortunately our society has tried to diminish the potential of what your sexuality can do for you, and I'm very happy that to participate and try to be a voice in that community with you, because I think there's more healing potential with respect and with consent, for people to incorporate that into their lives and open up doors that maybe they didn't see before.
Exactly. I mean, this is just the beginning, because I really want to have more conversations like this. There's a lot of people that unfortunately that doesn't feel very comfortable to open it up at certain things, because they're afraid to be judged. They're afraid to be criticized. And again, I don't judge anyone, because at the end of the day, this is not our job, our mission in life. Our mission in life is to understand who we are and what we do and why we're doing this. And little by little, what I want is exactly to feel more comfortable, that we can open up this conversation and just stop thinking that just because, she's naked, she's selling her body, how can you be a Christian? Well, wait, I don't steal, I don't lie. I might probably be a sinner, but I'm not a liar, okay? And everybody should be that way. If we take the labels out of our system, we'll be more content, we'll be more happy, and we will attract more of that energy around us.
I embody that myself all the time. So I'm feel like I've met a kindred spirit.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. This is a connection. It's a connection of our souls and our hearts. I mean, it's not necessarily, we all enjoy, our companion. I enjoy the energy of people when we are like on the same page. I understand not everybody is the same, but we're not here to compare ourselves or compete. We are here to share. We're going to have more conversations at this one, because I have more questions for you, but eventually in the future. And because, again, I don't want to drain you, but we can talk for hours if you want. But I will probably finish with this question. Regardless of the money, would you be willing to do porn? Like a video or something? I mean, not necessarily that you have to show your face, you know, because obviously we understand that we are not on that level yet, but will you do it?
I'd be absolutely open to the opportunity.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, obviously we have to consider, you know, like confidential and all this stuff, and you know, but I believe that two people or whatever it is, two people loving each other in front of the camera is not the same. That's my point.
I'm with you there, sister.
Well, cheers for that.
Cheers to you.
Well, let me take the drink there. I'm going to leave you, and let me tell you, like, I really enjoyed this conversation. I want more conversations like this, so please don't be afraid. Just reach out to me. Let's talk. Let's talk about certain things or certain whatever. Let's take the taboo out of this conversation and enjoy. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy this conversation as me. Victor, thank you so much for your time and your love.
Isabella, I'm delighted to participate and to be in your orbit. It's a privilege.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, lovers. So I'm going to leave you with the meme of the week. Thank you so much. God bless. And have a blessed week. Goodbye.
What the hell are you doing? It's called yoga. It helps improve strength, flexibility, and I don't give a damn. I ain't put my legs up like that. What about you? You want to try? Nah, I'm good. You look uncomfortable. It's actually not that bad. You still got your legs up. What'd you say they call that again? Yoga? Look like it's called something else. It actually helps reduce stress and depression.